I have a problem with Up. Now, don't get me wrong, this is not a takedown video on Up. It's a great film. I wouldn't do that. I genuinely believe that is the best film in the child abduction genre. If you don't get choked up at the beginning sequence of this film, you have the sociopathic tendencies of Ted Bundy or the average Dota 2 player. So I guess what I'm saying is I don't have a problem with the film as such. It's just that the core message is horrific for people like me who attach sentimental value to objects. Like Burnout Legends on PSP. Oh, Burnout Legends on PSP. You were given to me by a friend and I find you so beautiful that I could never part ways with you. Oh, Burnout Legends on PSP, let's have sexual intercourse. Let me explain. The main character is an old grumpy dickhead. Everything I strive to be in life. He gets to spend his whole day yelling at the general public for getting too close to his home.
Take a bath, hippie.
I mean, what more could you want? You can't get off my lawn before I spray you with some low-end economy pesticides. I just love this guy. And it is a struggle for me to sit there watching this immaculate man's last wish erode over the course of the story. First off, no one allows him any breathing room. There's this property developing capitalistic scumbag who has a chin sharp enough to cut through even the thickest of tank armor. In case the commies get any ideas. He has builders trying to push him to sell his lovely home and touching his mailbox wife. Oh, look at those sexy curves. Oh, his wife is still got it. Stop touching his wife! He has stupid children trespassing on his property with stupid requests. Oh, it's no wonder why this guy put his life savings into the Earth's last remaining helium reserves to float his house off into the middle of scenic nowhere. Give this guy some peace! I mean, real talk, you have to respect the fact that this man was able to blow up enough balloons in a single night to not only lift up his house, but to rip it from its very foundations. This man loves his dream. Oh, he doesn't care if any of these balloons end up in the throat of a dolphin. He's saying, screw this world, it's filled with scum. I'm out of here. And I love him for it. In fact, it turns me on. But we all know what happens in the end. His plan to take the house that he rebuilt with the love of his life to a location they never got to explore together gets completely derailed because he accidentally abducts a child. A mistake anyone could have made. He gets dragged into everyone else's problems when he just wanted to plonk down his home, sit in his living room, and wither away and die on his own terms. Respect, old man, respect. Oh, but no, they have to drag him back into society where he has to be the step-grandfather to this little nutter. This film is asking this man, this hard-shelled, mothball-smelling man, to give up his whole house. A house that he rebuilt with the love of his life. It was a house filled with joyous laughter and tears, not of despair, but of the loss of life that will never be. It was a house filled with chairs that hosted their comforts, pictures that froze past happiness for later reflections, and a bed that he absolutely railed her in. And you take that from him. I couldn't even bear to throw out a note that my partner gave me like 8 years ago, let alone a house that I rebuilt and filled with memories over like a 70-year period. When I can no longer remember how to eat with a fork or put my socks on, I want to be in a home surrounded by mementos. Like when someone gives me something, even if it's just a really small thing, I can feel their affections through that object. And it's very hard for me to throw it away. Do I sound crazy? Do I sound like one of those crazy people from one of those hoarder shows? Hey, what are you guys doing? Hey, don't touch my stuff! I guess I'm just one of those people, but it's like looking at historical artifacts, you know? It represents a moment in time. You know, our memories can change over time. Details get obscured and foggy, and it's hard to remember certain things, but things like photos, gifts, everyday objects, for me, it's like a tangible link to a memory and a feeling. And funnily enough, the moment in the film where he has to let go of the home and all of his sentimental objects, I kind of went through something similar not too long ago. Okay, so I live in a shithole. It's a shithole you might have heard of. It's called Australia. And in Australia, there's other shitholes within it. For instance, you have your CBDs, then you have your outer suburbs. And in those outer suburbs, life kind of gets worse because there's a few things that you have to look out for. A lot of dangers, you know what I mean? You got to look out for your bogans, your racists, aggressive drunkards, your junkies, that kind of thing. But also environmental things like bushfires, okay? And I, in the past, had a bushfire that was threatening my home. Kind of got out of hand at night. The wind started to blow the bushfire towards our property. We started to get into the danger zone. So what I did was I immediately got all the essentials together, packed them in the car, and I looked over to where the bushfire was, and all I could see was an orange wall of flames in about 300 meters away with embers like the size of my head shooting up into the sky. It was terrifying. For a moment, I was like, holy crap, I'm going to die. But I didn't, because I'm still here making shitty videos. But it really dawned on me at that point that things were getting real. So I came inside and I was doing my last rounds. Do we have everything essential? And there was a moment where I came into this room and I have a lot of my little memories in here, things that I've had since I was a kid. And it dawned on me that there was a good chance that when I got back, all of that was going to be gone. And I wouldn't have any of these objects, these sentimental objects that I've been carrying with me for many, many years. Anyways, long story short, nature was on our side and the wind blew, it changed direction and went the other way and started threatening other people's homes, which was great for me because my home was no longer in danger. Their homes were, but that wasn't my home. Everything's looking peachy from here. I'm just kidding. Maybe a little bit. And to me, I know that feeling. I know that feeling when he lets it go and he has that little look on his face. He's like, "Ooh, my home." I had that feeling too. And it's devastating. And in the moment, you do. You do let it go because there's more important things, right? And I know at the end of the film, they show the house exactly where he wanted it to be, but he doesn't know that. In his mind, all that he is aware of is that his house was smashed into a million tiny little pieces. And that to me is just horrific. And I get that is the point of the film. You know, it's symbolic of his relationship. He has to learn to let go. His life doesn't have to end there just because his wife passed away, and he doesn't have to obsess over achieving a dream that they never got to do because they had their alternative happy journey instead. Oh, isn't that sweet? But I bet you that he's standing there at the end of the film on that stage looking at that little kid and being like, fuck, I got to look after this tubby little kid whose mum didn't even seem to care that he was away for a whole week and then randomly showed up with an old man that she doesn't even know covered in dirt. Like, get your life together, ma'am. Your child was missing for a week with an old man. He almost died multiple times. Get your life together. And now I got to figure out how I'm going to support myself in this brutal, cold-hearted world as a retired balloon salesman. And honestly, that is a fate worse than death. And I personally would prefer to wither and die in my own living room surrounded by sentimental objects than have to deal with that. Now, if you excuse me, there's some children climbing on my metal fence. Goddamn kid!